We're back in Guatemala. Them seeing us still there and doing it. There's a relief in their face expression, and I make sure to tell them like anything that happens with the leg, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, it gets too small, it gets broken.
Right.
You have a phone number. Contact us. We'll be here. Wow. This is incredible, the heart feeling and gratitude that they have in this moment.
She doesn't know whether to cry or just look. The smile on her face says it all. Imagine being 15 years old. You're on the back of a motorcycle, not your control. You end up in an accident. You lose your leg, and then there's no opportunity really to go any further than that.
Yeah.
Except for crutches. And then in the world of an impoverished country, here this girl now is a handicap, and there's no jobs for people that have both of their legs. So in turn, automatically she's put in a class where her life is not going to be the same. So when we can step in, give people hope, allow them to have the ability to walk again, it's a miracle in itself.
Welcome to the Hope and Motion podcast, a space where we talk about impact, purpose, and the journey of building something bigger than ourselves. I'm Max, a videographer, a storyteller, and part of the team of Hope to Walk, a nonprofit bringing life-changing prosthetic legs to people who could never afford them. Most of these conversations will be with my mentor and the founder of Hope to Walk, Phil Johnson, a man whose vision and heart have inspired me in ways I can't wait to share with you. Together, we'll dive into the stories, the struggles, and the incredible moments of hope that come from serving others. Because we believe everyone has the power to make a difference, and maybe this podcast will help you find yours. Let's get started. We're back in Guatemala.
Back in Guatemala.
Yeah. And wow, we had an amazing week. We got back here on Saturday and started clinic on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And between Tuesday and Friday, we did 13 legs.
13 legs.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
So that was a good one.
Yeah.
So we have different cases that we have received this week, and we were able to solve them all. So let's go through them one by one. Let's start with this guy. Look at this video. Let's talk about this. In the US, you told me most of the time that it would be a leg that they wouldn't be able to build or something.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have amputation that's really short below knee, there's nothing to hold on to. And so in turn, it's all in the suspension of the socket. And he was a tough case, even with a locking pin system, with silicone, like with everything. And so what we did is just went old style, went above medial laterally, put a good suspension sleeve on him, and he's going to have some slippage, but he'll be able to walk. And that was one of the amazing things. He stood up, and within a few minutes, he was walking, across the room. So that's another advantage, really, to the Hope to Walk leg, is that we can adapt the leg to just about anything. We can make it for children. We can make it for, because the socket's made right there, right then. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the advantages.
Yeah, that's super cool. And also, like, we have a video of his reaction, and look how emotional he looked.
Bueno, en primer lugar va a agradecerle a Dios porque Él me ha dado la oportunidad de poder caminar otra vez.
Wow.
So that was a moment, and it's always a moment,
That when I see that, I see literally every person that's ever come into the clinic. They come in without hope. They come in thinking that possibly they'll never walk again upright like everyone, for the fact that they can't afford to buy a prosthetic leg, which I think is a tragedy. And that's where Hope to Walk comes in. It gives people hope, because at the end, they're almost like waiting for something to pop out of the box. that they owe, or they have to give some money, or there's some attachment to it. And when they see that it's just an organization that's there doing from the heart, and how much that we genuinely care about their lives, it's a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And also, like, part of the patients that we received, it was people that received the leg like 2 years ago.
Right.
So now what, it was like one of my first times, seeing people that we have built a leg for in the past that are coming back, and them seeing us still there and doing it. There's a relief in their face expression, like when, and I make sure to tell them, like, hey guys, I want you to know that anything that happens with the leg 2 years from now, 1 year from now, it gets too small, it gets broken,
Right.
you have a phone number, contact us, we'll be here. Wow, this is incredible, their reaction, and the heart feeling and gratitude that they have in this moment.
Well, you think about the girl that came in with the commercial prosthetic leg, and she comes walking in with the foot turned completely sideways, and I was wondering what was up, and then her story is that she had gotten an organization to pay for a leg, and then when the foot broke and the liner was no good anymore, she went back and they wanted her to charge her like $1,000 to replace these things. Well, in this world, $1,000 is what she gets in a year, maybe 3 or 4 years for some people. And so what ends up happening is that, she uses what she gets. And so then she comes in. We have a lot of donated parts and things that we use, and we literally rebuild her leg and put her in a different place in life. And that's the other part. Being able to help people that, and she even said when she went back that, one, she had to make an appointment, and then the second, they wanted to charge her all of this money after someone else had already given her this leg that she can now no longer use. And so it's about hope.
Yeah. Wow. It was an amazing moment, and she was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Let's actually look at a video of her. Oh no, that was like actually another woman. You remember this?
Yeah. Yeah, she was the young girl.
And she didn't look 15 years old, but she's actually
Right,
15 years
15
old when you
years
see
old.
the video. And it was beautiful because I have this video also, like, look at her facial expression.
She doesn't know whether to cry or just look. The smile on her face says it all. Imagine being 15 years old and a young girl. You're on the back of a motorcycle, not your control. You end up in an accident. You lose your leg, and then there's no opportunity really to go any further than that.
Yeah.
Except for crutches. And then in the world of an impoverished country or a third world country, what they consider, here this girl now is a handicap. And like there's no jobs for people that have both of their legs. So in turn, automatically she's put in a class where, her life is not going to be the same. And so when we can step in, give people hope, allow them to have the ability to walk again, it's a miracle in itself.
Totally. That's why we wake up every day. Best feeling ever,
That's it.
It's like you told me one day, and it keeps on coming back to my mind, but knowing that you have the capacity of changing someone's life every day, why wouldn't you?
That's it.
It's like,
and I say this all the time, not just in just passing, but I say, if everyone would do one kind thing for another person, just a simple, either a smile or a hug or a how you doing, or it changes lives. And to think that we get to every day provide the ability for someone to walk who had no idea that they were going to walk again until they hear about this organization. And I'm sure they're thinking, yeah, right, they're going to give us a free leg. What would you think if someone said they were going to give you a free camera? You're going to be like, this has got to be some kind of, and they think the same.
Yeah.
But when you walk away with that free camera, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And that's the feeling that the people that we serve have. They become a part of our family. They want to hug us. They want to take pictures with us to go back and show their families like, wow, look.
Yeah.
And that's what I want this organization to be.
Yeah.
Always.
And also another thing that happened this week, Tuesday, the day we got back and started the clinic again, it was your birthday.
It was.
Yeah.
That's
And-
funny too, because the first year of Hope to Walk that we started traveling to Tegucigalpa, Honduras, I spent my first birthday on a mission trip with Hope to Walk 11 years ago.
Wow.
And so, people even say, aren't you going to be home for your birthday? I am home on my birthday. To be able to give back to people less fortunate and see them walk is the biggest gift you could ever have.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do it.
Totally. Wow. And everyone was trying to ask, like, what do you want to do for your birthday or whatever? And that was your special day,
That's it.
Just another day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That I think that in the world too, I think about here the little boy we saw the day that he came in, and it was his birthday, and he was going to get legs, and we got him a pair of shoes, and we got him a cake. He would have never gotten any of that. His birthday would have just been another day in a poor family's life. And to give that happiness of not only the prosthetic leg and now he can walk again, but just be kind and give people that love and care. And, everyone that day, the patients that were there were all, thanking me and saying happy birthday and, wishing me more life to continue to help people. And, hey, that's the biggest present you could ever get.
What a blessing, right? What a blessing. So, yeah, I found a picture of the girl that had the commercial leg.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And when she walked into the clinic, her foot was turned completely sideways. It was completely broken. The socket was cutting into her leg and we were able to adjust that socket. We were able to give her a new lower section and align it. It was an inch short because she had it like 5 years, so she would have gotten it when she was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And to be able to, again, they're looking at us like, when are we gonna get the bill? Like, when are you gonna pop out and say, okay, you owe us? And they almost wait around for that moment,
Yeah.
And then when you tell them that they're free to go, and they're thinking, somebody just wanted to charge me $1,000 for this, and these people are giving it to me for free.
Yeah.
How can that be? It can be because of people's donations, of people supporting this organization in a way that we can do that every day.
Yeah.
And that's the key. And so, I always say that whether it's helping with logistics or anything that we do, all of those jobs are important, but it's a necessity for us to continue to do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about like people on the ground, there's someone special that you presented me to, and he's your best friend, Howard. He was here with us this week.
Yep. Howard has
This is
been
a
with
special
Hope
guy.
to Walk since I think the second trip, and it was over an airplane seat. Apparently there was a row of seats on this completely jammed flight, and one of the people that was with Hope to Walk was eyeing it, and I guess at the same time Howard was eyeing it. And the minute they said that the doors were closed, they dove for these seats, and I never heard from our guy again. I could hear him over there talking the whole time. And then when we landed, he came and said, man, I met this guy and he's a pharmacist and he wants to come on a trip. He's, going home from a mission trip and he wants to come with us. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you hear that from tons of people. And then the next thing I know, he's coming on the next trip. And he and I clicked and have been brothers ever since. And he's traveled with Hope to Walk all over the world, pretty much everywhere we've ever been.
Yeah.
And is a huge part of what this organization, what I want it to be known for, is really good people that care from their heart, that give their own money to go and help other people who are less fortunate. And that's, not that everyone doesn't have that, but there are people that will really give their life. He could very easily sit in a beautiful house and retire and never have to, to do anything again. But yet he gives his time and effort to come and help poor people walk again. And he is dedicated from the minute he gets there to the minute we leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's such a beautiful energy to have around, always here to help in any way possible.
Yeah.
So it makes everything easier, so
Yep.
yeah, exactly the kind of people we want to attract around us.
That's, that we're blessed in Hope to Walk to have a group of people put together that are here for the right reasons. And, when I founded Hope to Walk, I never want it to be an organization that, even if we had a lot of money, where I get a ton of money and, we're giving bonuses to all the people that work. That will never happen in this organization. If we had $1 trillion, we would spend it on the poorest people in the world and make it the most economical way we could do it to help people's lives. That's it. And so, having good people that genuinely do from their heart, instead of it being me, it's us.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of the growth of this organization.
So beautiful, bro. Anyway, this is a beautiful way of ending it. So we had a couple of days two days in a row. One day we had like 5 patients. The next day we had 4 of them. These are like long days to complete all of this. But wow, it was smooth.
Yeah.
And amazing.
It's funny, you get there in the morning, you're anticipating what's going to happen. The people come in, you're looking at everyone, they're looking at you. Pretty soon they see the activity happening. They're watching each other go in and come out with a casting or whatever it is. And they everyone's kind of excited, and then you hear them kind of talking to each other, and then laughing starts. And then when we start fitting the legs, it's like a big family reunion. You just met everyone today, but everyone has the same need.
Yeah.
And we have the same feeling being able to help.
Yeah.
And so, we have this moment where everyone's walking around excited, trying to stand, trying to walk. And then they want to take photos, and they want to get your phone number, and they want to follow you on Facebook. And then the whole time as they leave and walk out the door, they're turning around, smiling, waving, just, it's about respect. It's about we've just changed their life.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
Totally. And what's cool is it's like we finish the leg one after the other, but we always wait for all the legs to be ready, because we feel that it's a moment for all of them to share.
It is.
So it's a very cool moment, and I captured a video of actually us coming together to give them the leg, you know, and you have everyone waiting in the room, and wow, this is where
You
the
just
joy
see the
starts.
room light up with as you walk in, and everyone sees their leg coming, and it's a very special moment, and it happens every day.
Yeah,
Like, couldn't be better than that.
what a blessing.
What a blessing.
And to another beautiful week, my bro. Yes. Well, until next time,
Until next
we
time,
have another episode coming next week.
be a part of this family.
See you guys.
Peace.